Welcome back. Thanks for checking out this video. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We're going to dig in a little bit to the Indiana Fever and their absolutely atrocious defense. We're going to actually go through film and just show you how bad they are from a coaching standpoint to follow up on my video from yesterday. But first, I want to set that up with just a few comments from the coach that first, as I talked about, she has this tendency to never take responsibility, to throw her players under the bus, and to really to not praise them either. At the very least, to not praise Caitlin. This is really short, but this is a great example of what I mean.
Narrative has been, Fever's terrible, Caitlin's terrible, the last beginning.
Coach is terrible.
Coach is coach. Okay, let's add that.
Think about that for a second. Okay, again, you're the head coach. You're worried about you. It's your ego that is coaching. Instead of defending your team and defending Caitlin Clark, because the reporter's question was, people are saying the team is terrible, people are saying Caitlin Clark is terrible, and then instead of responding to that with positivity about your team and positivity about Caitlin Clark, you have to go to the me, woe is me. They're saying it about me also. Let's make it about me. But it's not about you. It's about the team. And that is just another example of what a really bad coach she is. Now, I want to, before I get into the video to break down some of their so-called defense. This is another short clip after the Atlanta Dream game that kind of sets that up. I want you to really, I think this is maybe like 15, 20 seconds that I'm going to play. I want you to really pay attention to what she says about what they did well against the Atlanta Dream.
Yeah, I think we were really active. We've really been talking about ball pressure. You've got to put a lot of ball pressure on people, make everything difficult, make everything hard. Our post players were working in the post, not letting them get easy touches. We've been really working on these guard-to-guard screens that they run a lot of, just working on sliding through, getting up, just making everything hard. And I thought we did that tonight. Our goal was to keep them under 84. We kept them at 79. Couldn't be more proud of them.
Keep those things in mind. Ball pressure, the screen switching, getting up in their face, working hard in the post. Okay. Now, the last thing I think was really important, I meant to mention this after the Atlanta game because I found it kind of interesting. Our goal was to hold them to 84 points, and we held them to 79. Okay. Team stats. Let's go all the way to the bottom, the Atlanta Dream. They average 75.9 points per game, dead last in the WNBA. But Christie Side's goal was to hold them to 84, which would make them actually fourth in the league, right behind the Minnesota Lynx, averaging 84.5. You want to hold the worst offensive team in basketball to 8 points above their average. That is fascinating to me. I really find that absolutely fascinating. I'm going to switch screens and we're going to go through some video of this right now. Okay, let's dig in. First one, should have known it was going to be a long night. There is no one on the strong side. What does Kelsey Mitchell do? She completely overplays Kennedy to allow her to be on the strong side. It was basically a, here is your pass, please score. I mean, I don't need to go much deeper than that because, as you will see, absolutely terrible. What kind of defense is that? So you will see that Kelsey Mitchell does a poor job. She doesn't go over the top of the screen. And then on top of that, you'll see, if I go through a little bit, okay, now she's gotten Alyssa Smith in a good position to help if Carter goes middle. She's got Caitlin Clark actually doing a good job in position on the side. They both are seeing the ball. They're both seeing their players. They both have their lanes covered up. So if Carter goes left or right, Kelsey Mitchell has help. Instead, Kelsey Mitchell stays off of her as far as she possibly can without it being completely and utterly embarrassing, as if Carter's giving her money to do this. And Kennedy just takes a nice, easy practice three because Kelsey Mitchell is in a different zip code. Embarrassing. Melissa Smith does not get out there. She never has a sense of urgency. She doesn't go out with the player she's guarding because you know the screen is coming, regardless of whether it's a fight through or it's a switch. You know it's happening. She never gets out there. Easy three. Melissa Smith has to rotate down to take up Wheeler's player who's cutting to the basket. To this moment that I'm recording this, Melissa Smith still doesn't know that this was her bucket because I guarantee you that Christie Sides did not tell her. One thing I will point out, because it looks, the way it ends up, it looks like it's Caitlin Clark's fault. It is not Caitlin Clark's fault. This is Melissa Smith on the rotation. That being said, I don't like the way Caitlin Clark went with her player into the box because she turned her body the complete opposite way that she should have. She should have been opened up and she should have been backing in so that she could see everything. She completely turns away from the ball so that for a moment she has no idea where the ball is. That is also bad. That is also coaching. You cannot allow those things to happen. You cannot allow your players to do things like this. But as you will see, Melissa Smith, no clue that she needs to go over. And I will see, because you can see it here, recognizes this pretty early, and she does a good job of getting over. Unfortunately, Melissa Smith has no clue what is supposed to happen next. Easy bucket. Now, what happens here? The player that Caitlin Clark is guarding in the corner throws it into the paint, and then Caitlin Clark turns completely the wrong way, has no idea where her assignment is going. So it could have been an easy bucket for her. Luckily for Caitlin Clark, it wasn't, but that is really, really poor defense. You do not turn that way and completely lose sight of your player. You're going to see, I think this is Hull, who's going to come down from the weak side to double, which means in this scenario, Aaliyah Boston has to rotate over and pick up the weak side player, and then Wheeler has to come over and pick up Reese. Hull is going to go out and take Wheeler's player to complete the rotation. None of this happens. Easy bucket. Boston doesn't get over. That's Boston's assignment there. All right, now this is quite possibly the worst pick and roll defensively that basketball has ever seen. I don't even know how the pick slows Mitchell down because Mitchell is playing 5 feet off of Carter instead of forcing Carter to the sideline and making her pick up the basketball. She plays way off of her. She allows Cardoso to set a pick nowhere near Carter. I mean, for any of you who have ever played basketball and you know you come off a pick, you have to set your defender up so that you rub them off of that pick. Carter doesn't need to because Mitchell plays so far off of her and then is lazy and late after that. Boston has to step out on Carter and it becomes a 2-on-1, which seems like every pick and roll against the Fever becomes an easy 2-on-1, and it's an easy bucket, and there's no time to allow the rotation over from the weak side. Absolutely embarrassing. What do we have here? Ah, yes, this one's the really weird one. If you see Boston and Clark there in the middle, 2 players for the Sky, 2 players for the Fever, lots of space. There are no picks being set, no crowds, no one running through, nothing off the ball. There should be no confusion, which again goes back to the coaching, because these players are really, really confused as to what they're supposed to do, even in a basic situation. You will see what looks like communication, and it looks like Boston taps Clark as if, okay, I've got this player foul line extended. Boston, so Caitlin backs off. Boston does step towards her, and then she starts backing up into Clark, who is backed up into the paint. All I can think is Clark singing, "Okay, I'm helping," but she's backing way too far. But then Boston, who starts going to the player foul line extended, backs off of her. It makes no sense. It's an easy three. Two, from what I've seen, pretty smart players Carter and Boston completely lost for no reason whatsoever. I gotta know, you gotta know, I gotta, oh, I don't, oh, look. Okay. Now, I want to back that up just a little bit if I can, because that happened so fast. I do not know why Mitchell is so far in the paint that she allows a easy, basically free throw. Made, and then a couple of things that are even worse by that. She allows this, and then she goes right by her down the court. Ever hear box out the shooter? Luckily for Mitchell, you get Melissa Smith gets the blame because Melissa Smith does a terrible job of getting caught under the basket and not getting her hands up so that Reese can make an easy rebound off of this miss. But if she didn't, Mitchell's player does because it hits the front of the rim, or if it hits the front of the rim a little harder and goes over Reese, Mitchell's player gets this ball and puts it back because Mitchell plays absolutely terrible defense before and after the shot. And finally, we have this. We're going to get where you've got Mitchell on the ball. You've actually got, I think that's Wallace on the other side. You've got Clark here. So properly positioned. They've got the lanes clogged so they can help Mitchell if Carter beats Mitchell into the lane. So Mitchell should be up on the ball. What does she do? Absolutely nothing. She just completely backs up until Carter gets close enough to decide to shoot. And a bucket. And that is it. Oh my gosh. That is just absolutely terrible team defense. And again, you've got Celeste Taylor has been sitting the bench all season long. I pretty sure I said uh, Mitchell's name a lot. She can't play defense at all. She can't catch the ball. She can't make layups. I'm not sure why she's out there. I mean, even when she scores, she's a net negative for this team. This is a better team if you were to replace Mitchell with Celeste Taylor. Okay, and Wheeler's got to sit as well. Why Wheeler played so much of that fourth quarter, I will never ever understand. Also a terrible defender. This is a terrible coaching staff. These players have no idea what they're doing defensively. They are the worst defensive team in the league, and they're going to continue to be so because they are lost. They are absolutely lost. They are unsure of themselves. They don't know what it is they're supposed to be doing. And I don't know how that gets fixed when you have Christie Sides continuing to be the coach for this team. It is just absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to leave it there. I'm sorry this got a little long. If you are enjoying this content, though, please first let me know in the comments what you think. Did I miss something in what you saw? Were there other plays? I mean, I think this was official game highlights or something like that. But anyway, if you're enjoying the content, please like, subscribe, all that awesome stuff. I do appreciate it, and I will talk to you later.